It's the 10 to 1 podcast with your host, Brad Oman, featuring Ben Konowitz and Nate Loucks. And here's the podcast.
Welcome, friends. Welcome.
We did it. We made it through another episode, guys. We did it.
We are back for the first of 3 episodes in a row that are taking us into springtime.
That was...
The flowers are blooming.
The flowers are blooming, and I'm going to the bar. I saw my lady down there, and I threw her in the car.
We got a Morgan Wallen here.
Took her on a date. We had a good time. Don't know what to do except make a rhyme. So I made a song about her. Don't wear it ends. Come down with me. Let's be friends.
Oh, okay. Good job, Morgan Wallen. Well, we are back, and this is the episode hosted by Mikey Madison, recent Oscar winner, Mikey Madison. She won for her lead role in Anora, which is a great movie if you haven't seen it already.
I have not.
It's available on Hulu right now. You should definitely watch it. It is.
I don't have Hulu.
You do.
I don't have Hulu.
You do.
You do.
Everyone, it's mad. Everyone in America.
Yeah,
has a Hulu.
everyone gets Hulu, just like, you know.
I don't have Hulu.
You get a Hulu. You get a Hulu.
Yeah. But yeah, so Mikey Madison hosted this episode and joined by musical guest Morgan Wallen. And since we normally don't talk about the musical guest, let's just get this right out of the gate.
He was great.
Everyone was flipping the fuck out the fact that Morgan Wallen just said bye
Just
and then
dipped
walked
out.
straight off the stage up front, right in front of the camera. And
Just like purposely left to make like some statement, I guess, about how he didn't like the show. Or
Real quick,
whatever.
though, can we, for our listeners that might not know, Brad, can you give a little bit of like a background with Morgan Wallen on the show?
yeah, he's dumb and racist.
No, not that.
Oh,
on
sorry.
the show.
He's dumb and racist.
Oh my god.
Well, I mean, it's at least half of that's right.
Well, he was supposed to be on the show before.
He was supposed to be on the show a while back. It was around the time when restrictions for COVID were kind of sensitive, and like leading up to a new episode, if people were going to be out and about at all, they were supposed to be wearing a mask. But they also didn't want anyone who was hosting or being the musical guest being out partying somewhere in the lead up to the actual episode. And at the time, while Morgan Wallen was booked on SNL, there were videos seen of him out at a bar with who knows who, and like no one's being masked or anything like that.
No, I mean he was making out with multiple women.
Right, there you go.
That was the issue.
And so he was asked, essentially disinvited to be on the show because of what happened. But Lorne Michaels, being who he is these days, I guess, wanted to give him another shot and invited him back. And here we are. And Morgan Wallen himself is kind of like one of those, I guess you could say, bad boy country types where like he doesn't really give a shit about like Hollywood and kind of is like whatever and like in kind of a disrespectful way.
Yeah, but
like,
here's the thing: like, it's okay to like not want to be part of the Hollywood elite, but then don't post your private jet on Instagram with the caption that says "Take me back to God's country."
Yeah,
like in no way, shape, or form do the people that are good Christian people that love God want to see you on a private jet and espousing His name. That's probably not the right move right there. But so that was where I was like, I gotta fuck that guy. Like taking a private jet back to God, get out of here, man.
yeah. I mean, well, I think for me it was him saying the N-word.
Well, no, I'm talking about this time on the show.
Oh,
and
so
what
you
happened.
forgave the other time?
No, idiot. I forgave the making out in bars because listen, I was 26 at one point in my life too, and I probably would have done the same thing because I was a dumb idiot.
30 years ago, it's a different time.
Yeah, probably 60 years ago now. But yeah, the N word on video, not his best look. Fuck that guy. But then also he decided that he wanted to throw a stool off of he was drunk and threw a stool off a balcony. He could have killed somebody. Like
Yeah,
that's just fucking. There's a difference between being a bad boy and just being a piece
frat
of shit.
boy.
So
yeah.
I know he's a big deal in country, and I don't understand it. And I'm not anti-country. I like a lot of country music. I don't get him, but I don't know. I just, if what we read about this situation is true, and the cast didn't really get along with him this week, Lorne didn't really get along with him. From what, again, I don't know if that's the case.
It just seemed like it was the kind of
Why
thing.
invite him?
Why? Yeah. Why? And why say yes, Morgan Wallen?
Well, that's the thing. Is like they
all of it. Let's
well,
just say we're not good for each other.
They probably weren't expecting him to be like that. Maybe this time, maybe learn a lesson or something. But on top of that, yeah, like if you really have like a distaste for it, like even though you have reps that are probably saying you need to do Saturday Night Live, like just don't do it. You know,
because
he doesn't need to do Saturday Night
He
Live.
was disinvited, and then he was invited, and he did the show, and now this is his second time on SNL, right?
Yeah, he did the show with Jason Bateman.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so and he was in a sketch.
Yeah, I think they were in a country bar. I think they parody the experience or what happened a little bit.
I really don't remember.
I'll see if it's on SNL archives, but
needless to say, it was a match made in hell. They should not have done it, and he'll never be on the show again, probably. So who cares?
And there's been some like Keenan was asked about it, and he said that it didn't seem like he understood the assignment, and maybe he just didn't really care about being there.
Yeah, FYI, December 5th, 2020, Morgan Wallen was on with host Jason Bateman, and they did a sketch called Morgan Wallen Party. And,
yeah, that sounds familiar now.
And it starred Beck Bennett, Pete Davidson, Andrew Smooks, Chloe Feynman, and Bowen Yang, and Jason Bateman and Morgan Wallen.
Well, there you go.
All right. Well, that's enough. I think that I'm past my limit of how much I want to talk about Morgan Wallen, so we can move on.
I honestly could not believe how big of a deal it was. Like all of the major like news outlets, entertainment news outlets, everyone's covering
what you
it.
expect. But then I also saw it on Yahoo News, and you're like, what the fuck?
It's
Why
been
is
all
this such
over.
a big deal?
It's like whatever. Who cares?
Well, at the same time, let's end that on a positive note. At least that means that when something happens on Saturday Night Live, it is still newsworthy.
Yeah, for all the people that are like,
way.
Nobody cares.
Nobody watches that show anymore.
Really?
Well,
because you're talking about
We're talking about it right now, and if it didn't matter, it would not have. It would have flown under the radar.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So good on you, SNL.
Let's move on. Let's talk about the show a little bit. Cold Open group chat. This sketch satirizes the real life controversy where government officials accidentally added in this sketch teenage girls to a classified text chain about Yemen military operations. In real life, it wasn't teenage girls. It was just a journalist. So
a journalist.
Much better than
not a big deal.
This starred Sarah Sherman, Ego Wodum, Andrew Smooks, Bowen Yang, Marcelo Hernandez, Mikey Day, and Mikey Madison.
The rare host appearance.
It's not often that we get the host.
In fact, I think it's so rare that the audience wasn't sure if they should applaud for her or not.
Yeah,
because there were some people that were like, and then
it's just a sketch. Okay.
We're not okay.
Ashley, I watched it with my girlfriend Ashley, and she's that's pretty rare that and I couldn't remember the last time that a host was in the Cold Open.
Yeah, at least not one who was like already known for hosting.
Exactly.
So we've talked about this before. In the Trump era, it can be hard to satirize some of the things that happen because they're already absurd, right? And in order for sketch comedy to work, you have to increase the absurdity, right? And it can be genuinely difficult in the Trump era because this is absurd. This story this week with the Signal thing is absurd. Let's first talk about what did you guys think of their take on this? I thought this was going to be the thing that they brought to the Cold Open. And did you find it funny?
I think it was better than it could have been. I think that it's a pretty easy premise, if you're going to make fun of it, then of course, escalating how silly the conversation that's being broken into.
Did you like the tweak with the teenage girl?
Yeah, I think it added just enough to make it that little additional level of absurd. I think that the reactions from Ego and Sarah and Mikey were pretty good. It did feel like the timing was a little off with some of the technical stuff, especially with like the texting graphics.
Yeah.
But I will say, for having, I think, 6 or 7 cameras that they needed to run for that sketch, cutting between so many people and that kind of thing, it was pretty well executed, and I think it was enjoyable enough.
I like any departure from your typical Trump talking dead to camera or a press conference or something like that where they're always doing the same thing. So breaking that out that way was good. I also like that they started off with showing the text on the screen, and then they got away from that. And it was just to show you this is what every time they're talking, this is what they're saying in their text. That's a it's not a trope, but that's something. What do you call that? A mechanism. In order for the sketch to go well, because imagine if they didn't show the text right off the bat, you would just think they're talking into their phone. So it's a clever thing to do to say, oh, this is them texting. And I do love when they were just saying, eggplant emoji, it's over and over. Like that stuff was when it got to be its funniest. It went on a little too long. They really could have cut it.
That's one thing I thought was a little long, but
other than that, I mean, clever enough premise, and skewering something that absurd is hard, and I give them credit. Honestly, this one was pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't hate it, which at this point with political cold open in the Trump era, if I don't hate it, then
something went right.
Because you're absolutely right, Ben. The easy thing to do is to put James Austin Johnson out there, who is a fantastic impressionist, whose Trump is going to go down as, I think, one of the best political impersonations ever, and just keep on putting him back out there, right? So at least this was an attempt to do something different, and I appreciated that.
It's slightly better than Kyle Mooney's Barack Obama, but other than that.
All right, moving on.
No laugh, Brad. You didn't like that one?
We'll insert.
I thought you were Kyle Mooney.
We'll insert a laugh track. Speaking of Kyle Mooney, he's got a country album now, or like an indie.
Well, it's like a folk, indie album.
It's him and Morgan Wallen.
It's called the Real Me, and it's pretty funny.
All right, moving on. Monologue by Mikey Madison. Mikey Madison discusses her breakthrough film Honora, having a twin brother and doing her own dancing stunts.
Were you mad at this, Nate?
No, I don't know. I thought it was just fine. There wasn't. I didn't get the there was
boring.
Yeah.
It's okay to say it. It's okay when it's boring. It was boring.
It was fine.
So when you got it first time, sorry, Brad. Go ahead.
My biggest problem was that it didn't really feel natural. It felt like she was putting on a performance.
Correct.
And on top of that, the one thing that I get really nervous for a host is when they do the monologue and they don't know to pause to let a joke land. Because she just ran right through it and let the audience keep laughing while she was still trying to talk. And it's like, no, you need to have a sense of the audience reacting to what you're saying. She's not a comedian.
She's clearly not even done any live performance.
Right.
And so that's tough.
Yeah. So that was worrisome because she did that a couple times. And otherwise it just didn't really seem like, I didn't think the thing about her twin brother was pretty funny. But that was otherwise it was just, okay, yeah, well, let's see what you can do.
And I give it to her that, nerves have to be everything. She's 25 or whatever. I mean, good Lord, that kind of pressure. So coming across as a performance is, to me, is less of a problem because it is the nerves more than anything. It's not natural to be in that position. But I'm not. I did like the brother bit. That was clever enough. The pole dancer stuff, okay.
I felt like a weird bit.
Felt like a 90s bit.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that was all about.
All right, moving on. We have a repeat bit here, a repeat sketch. Acting Teacher 2, which the first one was back in November when Charlie XCX hosted, if you remember right. This is an unconventional acting teacher played by Marcelo Hernandez, gives bizarre tips to his students. This also stars the host, Mikey Madison, Andrew Smukes, Chloe Feynman, Bowen Yang, Devin Walker, Jane Wickline, and Ashley Padilla. Again, this is a follow-up, kind of a second sketch for this idea. I don't remember, honestly, loving the first one, if I'm going to be honest. I thought the first one was fine. Did you think that this was a sketch premise that they needed to redo?
Not one that they needed to redo. I'm not necessarily mad they did redo it because I do think Marcelo Hernandez is good as the character.
He's very good at it. Yeah.
I do think that something needs to be done with the sketch, though, to tap into what's really going to make it sing. Because there are some really funny things in here. The readings of commercial taglines are pretty funny, doing it in a way that is not at all like how the tagline should be read.
That's my favorite part. What is just do it already?
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. And then walking in with the high kicking. Their shoes, you have to show them. That's brilliant. That's really funny stuff. The other part of it is it's a bit rote though.
Yeah.
You know what's coming and it's just beat by beat.
Yeah.
Without Marcelo Hernandez, this is nothing.
Yeah, I think that's why I do like it, and I would like to see what they can do with it, because sometimes it takes time for the bits to really start getting into a groove.
Also, at this point, I feel bad for Marcelo Hernandez's voice. He is every character he does now is that big yell.
Yeah.
It's like
I don't know, like a permanent rasp now.
Yeah, and I'm sure he's not taking plays off, in his personal life. I think he's living it up, man, as he should.
Yeah, as you should. All right, moving on. This is a sketch called Big Dumb Line, and it featured special guest Joe Jonas. I think, Brad, you just mentioned not long ago, whatever happened to Joe Jonas? And I wanted to know.
He was standing in a big dumb line.
Yeah, he's here on SNL now.
Did I say that?
Yeah, I remember you saying that. So
I feel like he's making this up.
No, you asked. You were like, where
you're
is...
like, hey, guys.
Whatever happened to Joe
I remember
Jonas?
you texted us.
Where in the world is Joseph R. Jonas? Oh, see, I knew his full name.
This is somebody that would ask where Joe Jonas is.
No, because I would know where he is if I know his full name.
All right, this
The
was
logic is not sound in this bit, Nate.
a group sings about their favorite weekend activity in New York City. This stars Mikey Madison, Ego Wodum, Chloe Feynman, Bowen Yang, and Sarah Sherman. Again, with special guest Joe Jonas. We talked about this in our text thread. Do you guys think that this was supposed to be Morgan Wallen?
I don't know. I think it's possible, but the song style doesn't really feel like it fits Morgan Wallen unless that was also part of what they changed. Because like if it was meant to be a country tune before it became a sort of this like 80s pop song, then maybe. But I don't know. Maybe it's just happened that they got Joe Jonas to do it for whatever reason.
What did you think of the sketch?
I thought it was really funny, actually. I think it's exactly like captures something that is very not super specific to New York, but definitely specific to big cities.
Yeah, exactly.
Lots of promotional events, marketing events, pop-up shops.
It's always a risk on some of these very New York centric sketches.
There's so many people waiting in lines like this, and the stuff really does end up being just like, oh, okay,
It's fine.
yeah.
I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was amazing.
It's very catchy.
It's fine. It just didn't do much for me.
You don't like Bowen Yang?
I love Bowen Yang.
Apparently not, because he's pretty great in this sketch.
I don't know. I just think that you've got a lot of comparing now for the musical sketches that are pre-tapes, and this is not even in the top half.
I agree with you.
And that's not to say this is bad. It's just it wasn't great.
Yeah, cool.
All right. This next one was one of those sketches that SNL does where they say, okay, everyone's going to be in this sketch. This is called Jury Duty. This is a judge, played by Ego Wodum, interviews a wild group of candidates for jury selection. As an aside, I just got selected to interview for federal jury court in South Bend, Indiana in April. So
You have to do your civic duty.
You get paid. Good for you.
You get paid like $23 a day?
No, it's like 65.
Is it really?
Yeah, you're gonna be golden.
But do they have a taco truck?
I don't think I'll get chosen.
Wow, no faith.
Yeah.
That's what everybody says about Nate Loucks. No faith.
Yeah, exactly. What's what I'm known for.
You should start a punk band called No Faith.
Oh my god!
But you sing like
sure
hymns in a punk
that has
version.
to be a punk band.
No, there's Faith No More. It's just
Yeah.
no. But now Nate's cover band of it'll be a
No
Christian
Faith.
verse. It'll be Faith More.
No, that's different.
Faith a lot more.
That's
Faith,
not
a lot more faith. Sorry, Nate Loucks.
All right, what did you guys think of this?
more faith than you can handle.
Okay.
Which of the...
Hey, that's a lot of faith.
All right, we got to move on. Which of these...
Whoa! Look at all that faith.
Son of a biscuit. Which of these cast members did you love the most in this one?
Faith Hill.
Oh, dear God.
Faith Mountain.
I'm trying. Hey, listeners, I'm trying. This is my life with these guys. It just keeps going.
Faith the animals.
Is that good? Don't laugh.
Hey, have faith. It'll get better.
All right.
I love sketches like this because
Everyone gets to do a little.
There
right?
is so this is a percentage sketch. It's here's how many characters you're going to see and what percentage of them are going to be funny. So if there's 20 iterations, 15 of them I'm probably going to chuckle at, and that's a good percentage. And that's why the sketch like this works more often than it doesn't.
Yeah.
Because even if you got a couple duds in there, it's rapid fire enough that the next one that is kind of funny does happen, and that's exactly what happened here.
And if you need to like see the strings, for the sketch too, like that's why it ends with Chloe Feynman doing her impression of Parker posing the White Lotus, because they're not going to fit that in anywhere.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. I love a little bit of the twist where Keenan's character does become a judge up there. I mean, that's clever. I liked it.
I thought Keenan was the best part of this.
Yeah.
He was silly. He was crazy.
Oh, I'll be the judge. I love Keenan so much.
But you're right. This is very much a. Are you guys working on any characters that we have not fit in anywhere yet?
Yeah.
We're getting to the end of the season, right? Like, it's time.
I also wonder, I think it was the 2 or 3 times that the mic got knocked down, I think at least 2 of the times, it felt like an accident.
Oh, no, the very first time was an accident for sure. And then, but if you saw, because I went back and rewatched it, they put it back up there, but it wasn't lodged in anymore. It was always awkwardly, so it was easier to knock over the second time. I think the cord actually got wrapped underneath it, and they tried to set it, and it was at an angle.
Gotcha.
So it kept falling over. So yeah, they were definitely not doing that on purpose, but it actually added to the sketch. Yeah. Because that character then had to go and lean down and pick it up to be taken seriously or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I liked it. That was a great flub.
A solid sketch.
Yeah, solid.
All right.
It gave me renewed faith in this episode.
All right, moving on. This is also a repeat sketch that they've done before. Varsity Valley. This one's called Spring Break. This is a girlfriend confronts her boyfriend while on spring break. The premise of this sketch, though, is you've got this thing that's happening, right in the front, this conversation typically, and it's going to be kind of a stereotypical teen drama from
One Tree Hill,
WB kind of thing. And in the background, there's absurd mayhem happening.
They'll never top the Waffle House.
No,
that's what I was gonna say. Is this
is a shoot for the moon, land amongst the stars thing? They know they've got a good premise here when they do stuff like this. It takes a lot of back and forth and a lot of setup and a lot of execution to do this kind of stuff. More so than I think people think, especially something like the Waffle House where it gets really crazy. And even though that they're never going to catch lightning in a bottle like that, I still like the attempts. And this was solid. I laughed.
I think that my issue with this iteration was that it felt too close to the original version.
Sure.
Whereas the second time they did it, it was a completely different setup, completely different genre. Because it was basically like doing like a 7 Pounds or Pursuit of Happiness kind of movie that Will Smith would do.
Yeah, set in the subway. I think, right?
Exactly. So I think that helped, and this kind of felt more like a retread.
I agree
because of that.
Yep, I agree.
Still liked it though.
Yeah, I think what's great is it seems like Mikey Day is playing the same character from the first one.
Absolutely.
I mean, SNLarchives.net has him listed again as dad.
Yeah,
right?
So there you go.
So I'm telling you right now, like the thing where he takes the pepper spray and he's like, "It don't faze me, it don't faze," and just like licking it. And I was laughing hard at that. Like that's a really funny bit.
By the way, I mean, again, I don't know if this is true, but according to SNLarchives.net. Marcelo Hernandez is the same character as he was in that first one. He's Zach.
Yeah, we'd have to double check the names, but yeah.
Yeah, he's Zach. And according to them,
that would make sense.
Kudos to SNLarchives.net, by the way. You help prepare for this podcast so much by putting your information out there. But yeah, but I agree with Brad. I thought this was a little too close. I honestly think there's more to be more to be found here in other situations,
different genres
that I think would be really, really funny.
Yeah, I agree.
And so I don't want them to abandon this premise,
like setting one in like an emergency room, or setting it, at a bank or something.
Or take the Nora concept and do something Russian or something like that, or there's things that you could do that is absurd and would be a lot of fun, I think. But it was still. I'm also with you, Ben. It was still funny. I still laughed.
It is spring break time, so that's probably why they wanted to do a spring break thing.
All right, moving on. It is that time of the episode where we put our thinking caps on and we try to predict what will be on this week's Breadometer.
Is that the dating game? What are you doing? This is not at all. We don't even have a theme song for this. What? Oh my God. What is wrong with
That's right. It's time for the Breadometer. Every week we talk about whether Brad feels good about Weekend Update with Colin Jost and Michael Che. Nate, what are the contestants going to take home if they win today?
Oh, you're going to get a free Morgan Wallen sweater. It's going to come with a little bit of racism. But
and it smells like beer.
All right. So, Brad, did you put your number into the pedometer?
I'm putting it in right now, Nathan.
You're going to get a copy of Morgan Wallen's new self-release CD. What's it called, Brad?
Back to God's country.
It's called Pud Muddle.
Oh.
All right. Let's.
Pud Muddle sounds like a sex toy.
Weekend updates. Again, they talked about a lot of different things. There was, I thought, pretty funny this week. Homeland Security's Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem's visiting a Salvadoran prison. 3 girls trying to stab their mother after she turned off the Wi-Fi. Let's get the bits out. We'll talk about them as well individually. But Devin Walker discussing Ashton Hall's morning routine. We'll talk about that in detail a little bit more. And then Ashley Padilla discussing Joanne Fabric and craft store closures. And so let's just talk a little bit about the pedometer, the chemistry. Ben, I want to go with you first. Where do you think the pedometer is at this week?
81.
It did get recalibrated.
And that's what I'm going off of. I didn't see much interaction this time. I saw one with a little back and forth.
It was, they had some good jokes, but the interactions weren't as... I'll go 80.
What does that say? 93?
83.
83, okay.
So you won.
Glasses.
I took my glasses off. I don't know. 80, okay, all right.
83.
So closest without going over, Ben Konowitz wins.
Even though there wasn't a lot of like big interactions between them, there was a lot of like Che chuckling at Che on the side and like kind of like
Che chuckling at Che.
a little bit of
A little Che chuckle?
yeah, a little Che chuckle. They Checkle. And they had like an ongoing like thing where they were just laughing at each other and whatnot.
They did look like they were having fun this week,
Yeah.
even though they weren't necessarily super, like you said,
They
super
weren't at each other,
connected with their
yeah.
chemistry.
Yeah.
But
Still
for
fun,
sure.
though.
It was fun. I especially liked Jost's bit about Paddington. Was a surprise tangent.
That was
pretty
awesome.
great.
And that's a joke swappy type thing,
Yeah.
right? Where he clearly didn't write it and probably hadn't read it because the way he had to read it, he was doing his best to be professional. But all of us, you could just tell, I've never read this before. This is so awkward. I love that when they do that to him.
Yeah.
I love it.
Now, Ben, you're big into social media influencers and living kind of a leadership type of guru life. And so
very
Ashton
true.
Hall's rhythm is very similar to yours.
I pattern a lot of my belief structure about leadership from Ashton.
Because you get
Hall.
up every morning, what, 4:45 to 5?
He is better than me. He gets up at 3:53. I get up at 3:54.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
And
and then
you
sorry, that's to pee. And then I do go back to bed until 9:30.
Yeah.
But when you wake up, you do put your face into ice water.
Yes, I do. I learning from him. From now on, it'll be in a bowl.
How were you doing it before?
It was just kind of strewn on the counter,
oh, yeah.
and it was just hard to get the ice cubes to not skyrocket away from me because I was just. Anyway, that's a me problem. But realistically,
Brad just puts the ice in the toilet bowl.
oh, smart!
Well,
oh my God, smart!
Yeah, because if you flush it, then you get it swirling around.
Man,
Yeah.
smart man. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would if I had to put a. So for those of you that have not seen any of this,
When you do it in the toilet, it's called a whirlpool.
that's Brittany, and I hope you heard that and don't cut that. That's Brad's fiance who just is listening to us, and she just groaned. And I hope to God the mic picked it up.
Oh,
So
that's
in
good.
post, can you please just like elevate that? If not,
I edit it.
oh damn it!
I'll keep it in though.
It was,
was
literally
good.
like unsaid. That is, this is the.
I don't know
man
what she was
I'm
talking about.
marrying.
She just got pleasured by my joke.
Oh, well, cut that.
That's never a good guy.
Anyway,
That's
this guy, he's a fitness influencer by trade. So I do get that, like, this is something he would do, and people do pay him money to see this kind of shit. So he puts on the mouth tape and goes to sleep, and it's minute by minute of what he does to get prepared for his day. By 9 a.m., the man's lived 3 lives.
It's also just ridiculous. He's like, he's showing a video of himself. He's like, $5 million, and like you're like, dude, you're not talking to anybody on that computer.
Yeah.
Right
My
now.
favorite
That
part.
was sorry. To me, it's not as cringy as I think people are making it out to be. I didn't watch it. And I wasn't uncomfortable. I think it's pretty funny that he thinks that that's what he's got to do. But also, there's 10,000 people out there making the exact same kind of content. Like,
Yep.
and also, sorry, but have you seen him? He's a god.
Yeah, he's
so
jacked.
it would be different if a guy was a little
And he
schlubby.
seems really happy.
Well, that's the thing. Like, who knows about that aspect of it? But if you're a fitness influencer and you look like that, then you're allowed to put out content like that, is my thing. Because if that's truly kind of what he does and that's what he looks like, geez, oh, Pete, it works.
My favorite bit is where he prepares to jump in the pool.
By the way,
and it's 7:39, and then when he's in the air, the time jumps to 7:43. So he was in the air for a solid 4 minutes for that jump. That's how healthy he is.
Is that the Devin Walker bit or the?
No, that's the real
That's the
video.
real thing.
And then there's another one where I think he only writes for a minute.
Yeah.
Like he opens up his gratitude journal or whatever, and it's like 7:29 to 7:30, and that's it. It's like, wait, you sat down and opened the book and wrote for a minute? All right.
We know he's not a man of many words.
So
He's got tape over his mouth. How could he be?
Again, if you've not seen this, Google Ashton Hill video. You'll find it.
Oh,
It'll be the thing that
it's
comes
got
up.
a bill
Yep.
with a B, a billion views.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so and then
So
watch.
someone took a screenshot of him in midair for the pool jump, and they put it on the side of the World Trade Center.
Oh no!
So dark.
Oh no!
And so if you watch this video, then come in and watch Devin Walker, because Devin Walker is clearly parodying this.
It was clever. It was very clever.
I thought it was funny. There's going to be a ton. There already are a ton of parodies of this. There'll be more.
So here's what I'll say about
It's
this.
the first thing in a while, honestly, that I see like this that is parody, like, where everyone's making their own version of it,
yeah.
right?
And I felt like they caught it early enough where it didn't feel
Exactly.
as
So
stale. as
that's
it
what
might
I was
have
going to
been.
Which
say.
is what they typically do.
Typically, 3 months from
Yeah,
now,
exactly.
we'll see this. Like, what? That was a viral video literally 3 months ago.
Yeah, so kudos to Devin Walker.
So you finally were like, okay, let's get topical here for real. Good.
Also, it had the bonus bit of him making fun of Che for not coming into work.
So they give Che shit here, and we see Jost get shit on all the time. It's fun when it happens on both sides.
Yeah.
I'm always there for the anchors getting made fun of, and Devin Walker being like, Che, you don't be here. Like, that's fucking
Yeah.
hilarious. That was great.
Did he say something too about being the only black cast
Yeah,
member?
because that's what he said. He's like, I'm the only black cast member. He's like, whoa, I'm on the show. He's like, but you're never here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I also loved the bit of Devin Walker at the end going into Lauren's office to show him the sketch, and Lauren's like, no.
Sketch got cut.
And
Then they still use the Ashton Hill pool thing.
Yeah.
They cut to him in the air, and then it cuts away. Like, that's, again, that there's enough cleverness
Yeah.
here that
I
sets
thought
it
that-
apart.
I
It's
thought Devin
very
did
well
well
done.
here.
Good
Yeah.
job, Devin.
all right, moving on. Ashley Padilla discussing Joanne Fabric and Crafts store closures. Ashley Padilla, I think she's having a good season. She's a
crushing.
great addition to this cast.
I think she's starting to come into her own in a
Yes.
similar way that like Kristen Wiig did.
This one had a little bit of Kristen Wiig to me, honestly. Not only in the like insight into Joanne's. By the way, this is true. My daughter told me, who's an avid shopper at Joann's, that Joann's is closing. So again, all the old ladies and my 17-year-old daughter is very sad about this.
People who like making their own fleece blankets.
Yeah, and so, but this was fun, cultural
great.
comedy,
And it was edgy.
yes, it was just
It was.
and she did a
Michael
great character.
Raped me. She said that line, and I really did go. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
like it got me. Like, oh, shit, they're going for it. Like that's really edgy comedy. It really is.
But the character itself is just very well crafted,
Oh, yeah.
very honed, well put together, and it just she nailed it.
She absolutely crushed it. Yeah, this is a man. What a great moment for her.
which I love too, because I feel like we're missing some characters on Weekend Update.
Yeah.
Right? Like I feel like that's something that with some of our cast members that have departed the last couple of years, they took with them some really honed Weekend Update characters.
And it seems like Heidi Gardner has been doing it much less recently.
Yes.
too.
Where was she this episode? She was barely in anything.
I mean, she's
I missed her. That's all I'm saying.
Calm down.
I can miss people. Sometimes I miss you.
No, you don't.
That's right.
moving on. Pop's big regret. This is a father reveals his biggest life regret to his children. This starred Andrew Smukes, James Austin Johnson, Marcelo Hernandez, Mikey Madison, and Mikey Day. This feels like, I don't know, but this feels like this was written by Andrew Smukes.
Can I say something really quick? Mike Flores listens to this show. He's also a big fan of Go Flix Yourself. Been on that podcast multiple times.
Podcast.
Mike and I did the Hot Ones challenge on Friday night, where we ate all the wings from Hot Ones, and I asked him questions. And before that show, Brad was there. Our friends Aaron and Jonah were there. Some other people. Charlie Young was setting everything up. And I did an impression at the table to try to make some people laugh. And it was meant to be an old gangster. And I sat there and I did something along the lines of, I was doing a Godfather thing, but it was definitely more of an elderly person version. So I was doing, hey, we're going to strike him at midnight. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. And Brad said that I sounded like I was doing a bad impression of somebody that maybe has special needs. And I honestly, after saying it again, like trying to do the impression again, I realized that it definitely sounded like that. And so I stopped.
He missed a key part.
Yeah, I really, really kind of fucked that up. So the impression I just did was the revised version of that. But then, I'm not joking, we're sitting there watching this sketch, and Ashley goes, oh my God, he's doing your voice. And I was like, oh, but yeah, it's great. And she's like, no, but he's doing it like the right way. Son of a bitch. Because Dismukes, elderly gangster, but it was perfect because it was one day later, my stupid, dumb impression. And this is why Dismukes is the best. He actually does it the right way.
Because a lot of people were debating whether you or Andrew Dismukes should be on the show.
I know, and it was neck and neck for quite a while.
Yeah, well, thick neck and neck.
Thick neck and normal neck. But no, this is a swing and a miss for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I thought it wasn't great.
So no, hold on. The first part of it's fine. When they started getting into it, doing stand-up, it went on way too long.
Oh, no, that I will agree with. I do think it went on too long. They should have figured out a way to vary up the punchlines as opposed to making it feel like
because they did four different times. Oh,
I did like that. Eventually, ended up at him having his own catchphrase though. That was amusing. It was a solid bit, and I do think I think what I did like about it is it felt like a sketch that might have been done in like the mid '90s or something like that.
Will Ferrell could have been laying there.
Yeah. So I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was bad.
Maybe not mid '90s. Sorry, late '90s.
But I agree that it was definitely too long.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. Like, I laughed at the first iteration of it. Like, oh, this is going to be great. They're doing stand-up. I wonder what they're going to do with it. Oh, they're not doing anything with it. They're just doing this again and again. And it's like, come on, guys. Escalation. Anyway.
All right, moving on. Barry the Midwife Part 2. This was, again, another revisit. So many revisits.
Yeah, they really
this episode.
Went back to the well.
Yeah. A doctor and midwife have a tense interaction in the delivery room. This is a return of Bowen Yang's character, Barry. And it starred Mikey Madison, Bowen Yang, Ego Wodum, Chloe Feynman, Sarah Sherman, and Jane Wickline. How, I mean, did you, let's talk a little bit about this as we often do. Was this a sketch you thought they needed to return to?
100%.
And you like this one?
Do you have a Barry the Midwife poster in your room?
They clearly didn't perfect it the first time. They really needed to go for it, like go all in this time.
Come on, man! What are you doing?
No. I was not a fan of this the first time. The second time,
so what's his other character?
The guy that was the Family Guy T-shirt.
Yeah. Stewart or
right.
Edgar. Who cares? I love Bowen Yang so much. Stop. I get it that you have carte blanche, honestly, on SNL to do whatever you want. In my opinion, I trust you with everything. If you like doing this and you just want to do it, and that's why, okay, fine. Then I'll put up with it because it's something you like. But it's not hitting for me.
I will say that I do think that there is an amusing thing that came from this one by having the flashback and the title bumpers be so specific and long to get the details of the Lizzie McGuire Toyota Summer Concert Series at the Today Show.
That. And so we were talking about that, the mechanics of it all.
Yeah.
Right? It needed to be that long so that they had transfer time, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Which I like, but then that's a perfect execution of, okay, well, we need more transition time. How can we not waste that time and make it funny? And they nailed that part of it for sure.
But yeah, this is not like my favorite character by any means. There was parts of it that were slightly amusing, but
people online fucking go nuts for this though. Like the Reddit, the people, they're diehard. It's crazy.
So weird.
Yeah. So what do we know? We only just host this podcast.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a dumb schlubby idiot.
All right, moving on.
We're wrong is what I'm saying.
We've got a Please Don't Destroy sketch here. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of the Please Don't Destroy guys. This was Mikey Madison as Squidward. The premise was the Please Don't Destroy Guys question Mikey Madison about her outfit. She's dressed as Squidward from SpongeBob. This certainly started very similar to Bad Bunny as Shrek.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there was a cameo.
Yeah, quick reference with a little thought bubble with Shrek in him.
And so I was a little nervous because they don't typically, Please Don't Destroy doesn't typically redo.
So you were just saying, though, this episode,
Very much
a lot of
was.
second times.
Yep.
What'd you think, Brad?
Did you think that they did enough different here?
Yeah, this was different enough because
I think they did.
The Shrek thing was more of like an absurd like adaptation of it. This was a very
ping pong. It was very ping pongy. Like
this was a very specific re-envisioning of SpongeBob as if it were like a show like Euphoria or something like that. And so that vibe combined with that like makeshift Shrek approach, I think made it different enough. And also just seeing the physical transformation of all of the different SpongeBob characters was hilarious in itself.
Yeah. It wasn't my favorite. Please Don't Destroy.
Not bad impressions, by the way.
Yeah.
No, but it was fun to see how they. I actually love when they did the Oscar the Grouch one.
Oh, yeah.
Anytime they kind of take something absurd, shift and evolve the genre. I just love that. I love when they do that. And this was kind of Please Don't Destroy doing that a little bit, but in a very absurdist way.
They're very good to it at knowing what the line is between Uncanny Valley and not. So on her makeup, right, the Squidward head never is molded to her head.
It's never made to look realistic.
It's always shitty.
Yeah.
But that's obviously a choice, and it's a good choice because it reminds you, they're not actually trying to make you feel weird about it. It looks like Squidward. It's just a silly shtick that they're doing. And they built that universe of like, this is a half-ass costume and that's okay.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. I think I liked the Bad Bunny one better.
It was better.
It was more shocking to see that originally. Oh my God, he's walking and he looks like Shrek.
All right, so the next is a question I've asked Ben many times. This sketch is called
What's Your Faith?
What are we? This premise is a woman hosts a dating show where she questions the guy she's dating, and this stars Mikey Madison and primarily Michael Longfellow. Those two, I'm going to guess Michael Longfellow wrote this sketch because he features prevalent in this, and we now know that if a cast member is typically in a sketch that's not often in sketches and they feature in it, they probably helped write it. And so this had some funny lines to it. I thought this was a fun little premise. It's hard to bring game shows back or bring game shows that add any kind of like layers that have not been used by SNL yet. But I thought this was fun. What did you think of this one, Brad?
Yeah, I do enjoy when they do a game show sketch that like the premise of the game is structured around an awkward thing in societal conversation. Like the one with Mulaney where it's like, what's her name? You know?
So good.
So stuff like that I really enjoy. And this one was pretty good. I think that it might have benefited from playing earlier in the show. It felt weird to have this at the end of the night.
That's a good insight. I think so too.
Yeah. Just because like the energy of it just felt like it would have fit better
as a second or third sketch. Yep.
Because a solid premise. I did mostly enjoy, or I enjoyed the most really the reading of the texts was the best part. Especially the daddy hungry for butt.
So what did you mean by that? Daddy hungry for butt. I don't know.
Ben, how many times have you sent that text?
To me.
Just to men. Multiple times.
Yeah.
I can't even get into the women. It's just in the thousands.
Yeah.
Is it because it's so small?
The butt?
His butt? His butt's,
you said you can't
his butt's not that small.
You can't even get into
me.
the women, you said.
Weird.
That's what I said.
I don't know where this is going. All right.
He's a small member.
Oh, gotcha.
The penis is underwhelming.
Okay.
Ben, do you have anything else to add to this?
No, now everybody knows I got a small Johnson.
The dong ain't dangling.
Oh my God.
All right.
That's actually that's the name of my album.
The dong ain't dangling.
Ben Konowitz
With
sings the
guest
blues.
appearance
Sings
by
the blues.
Morgan Wallen.
The dong ain't dangling.
All right, finally, last sketch of the night, an SNL animated short, Planning New York. This had two men imagined and plan out New York City. Bowen Yang and Michael Longfellow were the voice cast of this. this is the, if you remember right, a couple episodes ago, or not a couple, this season at least, they did an SNL animated short called God. And it was similarly short, not real long, but animated very similarly. This brought in a little bit of the
George Washington
Bergazzi,
sketch,
into it as well. What did you guys think of this? Did you like this better or worse than the God sketch?
I don't think it's quite as good as the God one. It's definitely more New York centric. Obviously,
I think if we lived in New York, I think we'd be like, this is so much better than the God one.
Yeah.
It's so specific.
Yeah, because like the 4th Street, right?
Yeah, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. Like, so I wasn't laughing. I was instead going, "Oh, I'm gonna have to look that up."
This also functions so much better as an animated sketch than it would be a live sketch because of the drawing. Absolutely. If you're not from New York, you have to draw that out.
I'm also super fascinated by where this like animated approach came from, like, because all of a sudden it feels like they have like their own Adult Swim style bumper in there where they have, especially the jumps in the middle too, that feel like Ren and Stimpy, where they all of a sudden get super detailed and close up.
And close up.
It's really interesting. It's unlike, I think, anything.
Because I don't think it's a Dan Bulla thing.
Yeah.
So
I'm impressed by that though. I like it a lot that they found a way to have a specific look that I haven't seen before, and it's not all Ren and Stimpy, and it's not all Adult Swim ish, but it's their own thing.
It has like make it like a little bit of home movies in there too.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yep. Little kind of the stilted.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I really liked it.
I want them to bring more of these, though. I really like them. This wasn't, I think, as good as God, but I just like the try. I like the attempt.
You heard it here. Not as good as God.
I mean, he does say that a lot.
Yeah.
That's just in our text thread.
Never going to be as good as God. I tell you that
I'm like,
all the time.
Nate,
you're like, I'm bigger than God. I'm like, no, you're not.
No, I get sick. You're
not.
This is the second week in a row, 14th day in a row, I woke up to a text, unprovoked, from Nate, "You're not as good as God." I know. Like, we get it, man.
Stop saying
I
you're
don't
bigger
say
than God.
it. I said it once.
You literally say it all the time.
I said it once.
It drives me crazy.
I said it once because I kind of look like Zeus.
All right, that's the show.
I didn't know Zeus was overweight.
He eats lots of like figs and grapes.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I said I look like soups.
Yeah, that's it.
Is that it?
Looks like a bag of soups.
It's,
And
you know,
soup.
it's like
soupy sales over
like
here.
a cheeseburger soup,
You know how when you put soup in a Ziploc bag?
and leave it out on the counter for a week? I look like soups.
All right,
Go fuck yourself. I'm done with this shit.
Soups.
all right. Let's get to the two final questions of the night. MVP cast member and sketch of the night. Let's start with MVP of the night. Who would you give it to, Brad?
I'm giving it to Ashley Padilla solely
I
for
agree.
that Weekend Update appearance. I feel like
I feel like she had a couple good appearances as well.
Yeah. But to me, there was something that was great about that character. I think it was a standout moment for her in a season where she's already shining for the first time out. And seeing her do something like this, I think this could be seen as like a turning point where like she's gonna start doing more. I think she'll really blossom.
I hope so.
Yeah,
because she's very.
She was
good.
in 5 sketches in this episode, which is
It's got to be her then.
Yeah, I think she's growing.
It's either that or Morgan Wallen.
All right, was there a sketch of the night? I had a hard time with the sketch of the night here.
For me, I thought it was the Big Dumb Line sketch. I thought it was really
Really?
I thought it was well put together. I thought the song was catchy, and I just thought it worked pretty well.
Man,
No, I had a hard time with it.
I think I probably would have to go.
Maybe with Varsity Valley for me. It's not as good as the first one.
I think I'd go with the judge. The judge.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid choice. Yeah, not bad. But yeah, I agree. This wasn't
But
one.
are we going pre-tape? Or are we going?
We always go.
What? No, I mean, there's a difference. We talked about this.
No, we didn't.
Well, that's your
literally always say the
That's
opposite.
your version.
I do. I think that overall, this was not an episode that had a lot of peaks, but it didn't really have a lot of valleys. either.
I think it was
probably
pretty dormant
more,
for me. Though.
More bad than good. Like
Yeah,
more like
I feel like it was
subpar than-
one
Yeah,
of the
definitely-
weaker episodes of the season.
Definitely, I would say maybe a little more aggressively average.
Yeah,
So
that's a good point. I didn't think it was a bad episode.
Yeah.
But there just wasn't anything in this episode. I'm like, okay, that's the standout piece.
So the other part about this, and yes, we're going to go back to the Morgan Wallen stuff a little bit, because when it's that awkward, it can
Kills the vibe.
It can kill the vibe, and the entire cast is backed up against, the band stage, and the only two of them out there, it makes it feel like, okay, this week must not have been on, at all. So I feel bad for Mikey, because obviously she's a sweetheart, she's a nice person. I've heard anything bad about her, but she had to like turn around after Morgan Wallen jets out like a douche, and then like find somebody to hug. It was just awkward, and you don't want that for a first time host.
Yeah, I agree.
Hopefully it's not damaged her mental health. That's a lot to put on somebody.
I think she's fine with whatever Morgan Wallen thinks about her. So,
probably.
So we've got a new episode next week. Is that right?
We do. Jack Black is coming back to host.
Do you think Kyle Gass will come?
It's Glass, but no.
It's not. It's Gas.
No, it's Glass.
It's not.
I think it was Gass.
It's
right?
Glass.
I was right.
Kyle
right.
Glass.
It's Kyle Gas.
All right. I love when I'm corrected and he's wrong. That's my favorite one.
He's broken. Don't worry. He can't read.
Broken glass.
Yeah, he can't even listen to like audiobooks. It's like
Wow, this turned into a text.
So we've got Jack Black next week, and
Hey,
then I think we
Kyle
got a
Gass
new
will
one.
be there.
Do you think?
it's Kyle Glass.
What do we have the week after?
The weekend.
Morgan Wallen. Can't help myself.
Carrying the whole episode.
Yeah, the host and musical guest Morgan Wallen
The week after that,
debuting Pud Muddle.
after Jack Black, we give another special treat, and we're getting John Hamm back.
Oh,
He is a favorite host among the cast.
It's
so
it's going to be one of those things, kind of like
hamster.
to me. Oh, nice! I like that one actually. Even though John Hamm was never a cast member, I have the same level of like, ooh, it's Will Forte vibes. Like I'm so excited because I haven't seen him in a while.
Yeah,
but now my expectations are up. I want to lower those because maybe they'll bring back Hamm and Bubbly.
I mean,
I'm gonna
also,
rate
The
it.
Lonely Island talks about John Hammond.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
So it's somebody that they love. So
Kept to
anyway,
interrupt
thanks
over
so
here.
much for listening.
So the one thing I'm gonna, because I want
Be
to,
good to yourself.
I don't
Be
know
good
if
to
you know
others.
this.
Bye bye.
I want to raise your expectations.
No, The Lonely Island talks a lot about John Hamm,
I
and
love him so much.
I'm gonna
But
raise your
anyway,
expectations.
the latest episode of The Lonely
This is
Island.
amazing.
Hey, listen, you pompadour bitch.
You pompadour bitch! Wow, he's just swinging.
He's so mad today.
So they talk about the John Hamm episode because it's
Which one? The Lonely Island.
and yes,
Yeah, no, I remember. So The Lonely Island.
in
was-
retrospect, the particular episode of John Hamm where they did John Hamm was a very good episode, and they wanted to spend
Yeah, we
time
know.
talking about the entire thing. One of the things that they mentioned that I did not know about, which is incredible and just like will make you understand why people love John Hamm so much, in the Halloween Vincent Price episode where John Hamm plays James Mason, he was originally supposed to play JFK in that sketch, in addition to appearing as JFK in the Cold Open, the ghost of JFK.
Okay.
So they switched it
Go
in between
on.
dress and air. And John Hamm had never done a James Mason impression before. Lauren just asked him, he's like, hey, we want to change this to James Mason. Is that okay? And he was like, yep, no problem. He debuted that impression on the live show. The
Jesus.
first time he had ever done it.
Yes, one man should not have that much power.
Insane. Handsome,
he looks
hilarious.
Like that. Hilarious, exactly.
But yeah, I could not believe that. That was just amazing because it's a great impression of James
I
Mason.
heard he's got a reverse Ben Konowitz.
Oh, yeah, big hog.
Big hog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's filling up sweatpants.
Yeah. Well, his last name's Ham for a reason.
Yep.
And John Hamm, this will be his fourth time hosting. He has not hosted
Since 2013.
since 2010.
Ooh.
Ooh.
15 years, guys.
Wow.
Here we go.
It's time
And
to get him
honestly,
back.
like I just, we just saw him on whatever I saw him. He still looks incredible. Like, the man
it
just.
was
he-
SNL 50.
oh yeah, he's still incredible.
It's crazy that it's been since 2010.
Mm-hmm.
So.
SNL 50 was 2010. Wow.
All right, so we have another podcast called Go Flix Yourself as well. If you ever want to hear us talk about film and TV shows,
Nope.
and,
Just film.
movie trailers, and have a little bit of fun playing games and just catching up as three friends do. Listen to that. Two friends and an acquaintance.
There we are.
You can listen to Go Flix Yourself wherever podcasts are found, or goflixyourself.com.
If for some reason you like the parts of this show
GoFlixYourself.com.
where we basically go fuck you, that's the entire show.
Exactly. It's a little more
that's
vulgar.
everything.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I want to thank you so much for listening. Brad, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter still because it's dying. And I love old technology. At Ethan _
on my
Anton.
BlackBerry to get on Twitter.
Still trying to be active on Blue Sky. Some of the party's still there a little bit. You know,
It's dying now.
people are going okay.
I'm on Instagram Threads.
cool.
I'm not.
That's pretty much it.
That tracks.
All right, and Ben and I still haven't found the internet, but you can find us at our homes.
Come over and say hi. Knock on the door.
All right. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. Bye-bye.